Get him up here. No. Fuck that. Nick doesn't do anything until Nick gets something for Nick. Got it? I want some hot chocolate. You want to hear about some job of mine? I want to see some goddamn hot chocolate. And some pecan fucking pie.
This is the emergency podcast system. This is not a test. Movies are bombing all over the country. They are posing as movies you already know. They may already be in your theaters, your neighbor's home, or even your own. Do not panic. Specialists have been dispatched. They will help you identify these pretenders and defend you against this invasion of the remake. Please stand by for further instructions.
Welcome to the Invasion of the Remake podcast. I'm your host, Jason Bishop, and with me for this holiday festive shoot-em-up
Train wreck
is Trish Coughlin.
Hey, everybody.
And Sam Stepanenko.
Merry, happy holiday seasons of your choosing.
Yes.
Yeah. First week of December, we're going to start sliding into some holiday fare, at least for a couple of weeks, and then we'll have something special for you in that third week. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the hell is going to happen in the fourth week yet. I have an idea.
Yeah. That's still getting work done.
No,
it's tough.
That's third week.
We've done some stuff. Okay, I know that's third week, but if you want that extra week, I have some other ideas.
Okay. Well, yeah, today we're going to be talking about Reindeer games because you saw it when you clicked on the thing, right? Right.
Exactly.
Right.
So no surprises.
No surprises there. We're going to be talking about Reindeer games. And I'm going to get right into some stats here. This was written by Aaron Kruger, who wrote The Ring 1 and 2, the American ones.
Okay.
Scream 3. Brothers Grimm.
Not bad.
3 Transformers movies.
Ooh.
And Ghost in the Shell.
Oh.
The most recent. No. I've seen. No. Yeah. So, I'm not so sure about this. This was also John Frankenheimer's last movie. He would die about 2 years afterwards. I mean, he was 70 when he shot this, but I mean, it's John Frankenheimer, Manchurian Candidate, and Ronin. Come on, like, guy knows his stuff.
But also the Island of Dr. Moreau.
And, well, he doesn't know crap when he sees it.
That's the problem.
But he also came in to rescue that movie. He was brought in at the last minute, so he didn't get to change anything.
Yeah, but it's like...
He would have changed that casting.
With that movie, that's like coming in to rescue a drowning victim with a cement block.
Yeah.
It's not going to help.
Yeah, Sam and I talk a little bit about it in our hardware episode.
Yes.
If you haven't seen the documentary on that,
it's great.
What was that called?
Richard Stanley.
In the Darkness? Or no?
Something like that. I can't remember, but look it up.
Yeah. Richard Stanley's, it's a documentary about him developing Island of Dr. Moreau and how insane Richard Stanley actually is.
and just sort of also there's some interesting bits about like the studio system and that whole bit too, which I actually really appreciate.
Yeah, and for an eclectic auteur like Richard Stanley, that wasn't going to work.
No, well, clearly it didn't.
And he was certainly had probably reached further than his experience would allow. But I'll leave you to be the judge of that. Go seek out that documentary. This movie was budgeted at $42 million. And it had a huge cast. It only opened in the U.S. at a little over $8 million and had a U.S. gross. I couldn't find a worldwide gross, but $23.3 million. The wiki said 32. Either way, big bomb, and a terrible big bomb. We're gonna put that on a t-shirt. Big bomb. And this was unfortunately
knock knock. Who's there? Big bomb.
Unfortunately, this would be John Frankenheimer's last movie, and it's
not much of a
movie
swan
to go.
song.
No. I don't know why it is like great directors and great actors will go out and retire off a really bad movie. Like, really, Sean Connery, you could have done one more.
There was what's interesting is I think I've read this thing. I don't know how true it is, but Charlize Theron only kind of agreed to this because she wanted to work with John Frankenheimer, and that's kind of cool. She did it before he was done.
Yeah,
so.
I suspect that's how they got most of this cast.
Yeah, I suspect. I mean, yeah. John Frankenheimer has an established reputation.
You know his name.
Yeah, and it's no wonder they would get like Ben Affleck, who is on the rise at this point. Mm-hmm. This was long before Gigli.
And 3 years after Good Will Hunting.
Yeah, so he already had won an Oscar. Gary Sinise, Oscar nominated.
Apollo 13.
Yeah, and Charlize Theron,
who was also on the rise as one
Oscar winner.
Oscar winner, yeah. So on the rise, but
on the rise. And geez, there's all sorts of small roles. Isaac Hayes was in this movie. Ashton Kutcher. If you blink, you'll miss it. But
it was so much fun to watch, Phil.
Dennis Farina. So did I. I was looking for it and I missed it. Actually, no, I didn't. I do remember it now that I'm thinking about it. We'll talk about that. Dennis Farina, who I love, is in this. Barrel. Yeah, not one of his better roles.
No.
I wish, I almost wanted him to just do it again, because I think he could do it better.
He's gone.
Yeah,
and that's the problem.
Yes.
But I mean,
Danny Trejo's in this movie.
Even like phoning it in, it's still Dennis Farina, and I kind of appreciated that.
Yeah. Danny Trejo's in this movie. This was still when he was just the thug in every gang. He would go on to apparently
he's the smart thug in this gang.
I think he survived this movie to go into Con Air. But I'd like to link up these. It just got worse as his criminal career really started to develop.
Well, Danny Trejo, like, it's amazing. He can be in some crazy movies with crazy people doing crazy shit, and still you're like, all right, Danny Trejo.
Yeah, everybody loves him, right?
And yet this still makes Machete look like a serious Oscar contender.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Ron Jeremy's also got a small part in this movie.
Yes,
another blink if you miss it, you'll miss it kind of role.
He's in the prison.
I've been blinking a lot in this movie, I guess.
That one I actually didn't spot. I saw my credit roll and I'm like, oh, where is he? I didn't see him. Never did see him. Sam apparently did.
Yeah, I did see him, yeah.
We should make a list of all of the blink and you'll miss Ron Jeremy.
Because there's a lot of them.
Because he is in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
Mainstream movies. But
he really is a cultural icon in a really twisted, weird...
Real fucked up way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The only one I really remember him in is in, like, Ghostbusters, that one scene.
Yeah.
At the end.
At the barricade, yeah.
See, I remember mostly from Killing Zoe, which we should cover.
I haven't seen that one in ages.
Boondock Saints as well.
Yes, he is, yeah. And we forgot to mention one of my favorite actors. I love Donald Logue.
Yes.
Yes, he is also in this movie.
Yeah.
I did have him written down.
He's Pug.
We didn't get that. We got talking about Ron Jeremy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You always get sidetracked when you talk about Ron Jeremy.
He's Pug, which I think is the part that Vin Diesel had and then dropped out.
And that's right. Yeah, Vin Diesel was originally cast in this movie. He dropped out to do the first Fast and the Furious movie, which was a good career choice.
I know. I was about to say he knew what he was doing.
Because I can tell you right now, Pug didn't have a lot to do in this movie.
No.
That would be one of the first things I change is give the gang more.
Yeah, I didn't wind up casting a lot of them just because, like, hell, I don't even know most of your names.
I went a different way, and I did cast the gang, but yeah, I changed a bunch of stuff.
There's only 3 of them, so I figured, you know what, why not cast them? They're pretty much interchangeable. Any one of the actors I cast could be in any one of the roles, so...
True.
Right. But they definitely need more, right? That would fill out some of the dead space in this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, all the space building up to twists, I suppose.
At 104 minutes, this movie feels really long, even though it's not 2 hours.
Well, you could see Frankenheimer's influence on the script. One thing I noticed as I was watching it, I was thinking about
it's really easy to spot because when you're watching this movie, it feels like I should be watching a comedy. But it's so dark.
I think I saw a director's cut because mine was over 2 hours.
Yeah.
There is a director's cut, yeah.
Okay, then that must be what I saw.
I didn't look at... I just wrote down what IMDb told me.
Yeah, there's 124 minutes.
I think now that I think about it, when I read about what's in the director's cut, I'm like, oh, I saw those scenes. Like, I saw the Charlize Theron nude scenes, I saw the torture dart scene, and those were things that were cut in the original film, so I must have seen that version as well.
Yeah, because I think they added...
it together a little bit better. It's a little less choppy, I think, even though it's longer. It feels less choppy because everything that happens in this movie, this is the way the Frankenheimer effect is what I'm calling it right now anyhow, is every scene informs something that happens later in the movie. By cutting out that dart scene, it cuts out...
There's a major plot point with darts.
Yes, there's a major plot point later on in the movie that feeds, right? So I can see why the theatrical version probably is less liked. I think the director's cut is probably a little more solid.
Yeah, I can't remember if I'd ever seen this in the theater, but I know I'd rented it once.
I did not.
I know I'd seen this once before, either on streaming pay-per-view or whatever, but it was years ago, so I think it was probably a rental of some sort. On
I think
VHS.
I heard it was just terrible, so I didn't bother.
Yeah, and you know what? If I'd bothered to watch the trailer, even the trailer, which I will run here shortly, it looks like a movie I don't want to watch.
I remember giving it a chance because, unlike most people, I enjoy Ben Affleck. There's been very few movies that I haven't enjoyed of his. I haven't enjoyed, except for I haven't even seen Geely because.
I'm going to put this right out there right now. I'm not a Ben Affleck hater at all.
No.
I think a lot of the stigma that poor Ben carries is usually because of who he's dating.
Yeah.
The rags are far too interested in who people date, and unfortunately they are really interested in who Ben Affleck dates, and that started with Jennifer Lopez. And I mean, Geely was a terrible movie. I could not get through that movie.
I didn't even try watching it.
I did try.
But here's what I'll put a bug in your ear for this whole thing. When you're talking about like how the tabloids are treating Ben Affleck, it's basically the same way they kind of treat how women go through men all the time.
Yeah,
they're treating him like a woman in the tabloids, all that vicious.
Yeah, because he seems to be usually dating, at least when it started with Jennifer Lopez, he's dating a star bigger than he is. So yeah, that's right.
Is that viciousness attached?
Yeah, there's a viciousness.
He's experiencing what a lot of these women are,
and he just hasn't been able to shake it since Geely. I mean, that's 14 years of it now. And every now and again it goes quiet for a little bit, and then he did Batman. And then all this attention, and I don't think he handles it very well.
I think in some instances, I think it's also unfair, because trust me, there are tons of other movies that have made since then that are worse than Geely, I swear to God.
Yeah, and Ben Affleck is not in.
Yeah, so why we consider Geely to be such like one of the worst movies, it boggles my mind, because I'm like, I can name a ton that are worse.
There are choices, and I'm not sure, like, he has to put on this terrible accent, New York accent, and he's not good at accents, so they shouldn't have done that. And I'm sure that was more a directorial choice.
The Boston one I sort of bought, I think,
because
he's from Boston.
Yeah, right.
He can do that.
He just let his natural accent come out.
It should have been a Boston accent, is what it should have been.
Yeah.
But
I mean, crapping on Geely.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a whole other show.
That's a whole other show. Yeah. But I mean, really, if you've ever watched anything that he did with Kevin Smith. Yeah, you can. Who brings up the best in Ben Affleck, and even in Dazed and Confused, when he's playing against type, because he's playing
he was great in that.
He was fantastic in that.
I thought he was really good in Argo. To be honest, I didn't think he was a terrible Daredevil. That was a terrible script.
Yes. Yeah, I have to agree with you.
And I think part of it is Ben's not very good at elevating a bad script. He can't seem to make bad material better.
That's true. Yeah. I think that's the problem. Is
some actors can. Yeah. He's just not one of those.
But
guys.
If you give him great material, he's great. He can rise to that level. I think that's the whole thing. One of my
wonderful guilty pleasure Ben Affleck movies is Phantoms.
It's a great movie.
Yeah, that is a fun movie.
Love that movie.
That's a fun movie.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite go-to movies.
Yeah, I think I remember you brought that up once, and I'm like, oh, wait, I hadn't seen it in years, and I rewatched it, and I'm like, I get it. It's fun.
Yeah, actually, if you want a great double feature, guys, watch that movie and Deep Rising. Trust me.
Yes.
It is the best popcorn, cheesy monster double feature you are going to have. Mm-hmm. I just stumbled upon that pairing by accident, and it works in so many levels.
Nice.
All right.
To do that.
I've done that pairing many, many times. It's so good. Okay, I'm going to run the trailer for Reindeer Games from 2000. It's a Millennium movie. This is this actually so far is the newest movie we will remake and tackle on this show. I don't know if it will stay that way, but it is the first of like a 2000.
It's still 17 years old.
Yeah, like that. I mean, yeah, it's hard to believe.
It's old enough to drive.
It's old enough to drive. Getting into trouble, getting arrested.
That was a nice segue, considering there's so much about cars and vehicles in this movie.
There we go.
All right.
Thank you.
Let's get some more Reindeer Games.
We walk out of here. What's the first thing you're gonna do? go out and get myself a mug of hot chocolate, a piece of pecan pie. All right.
He was a reformed ex-con who wanted to start a new life.
You Ashley?
I've been dreaming about that smile for so long. She was the girl of his dreams.
When I read what you wrote to me, I said, here's a guy they say is a criminal, but he's not.
When I get back in that room, you better be wearing nothing but a candy cane.
Welcome home, convict. Hey, sis. But between them and happiness...
What do you want from me?
I read your letters, convict.
He knows you worked at that casino.
Stands a team of criminals who wanted to take down the state's richest casino.
It's just my luck. Finally meet a boy that I'm crazy about, and my brother wants him worse than I do.
You want to hear about some job of mine? I want some hot chocolate and some pecan pie.
Let's start talking.
I can really go for some onion rings.
What started out as love
Do you remember all those letters you wrote me about me and you against the whole world? We can have it all if you just give him what he wants.
could end up in murder.
What did you think's gonna happen? This thing's gonna be over? He's just gonna let me go? He's gonna shoot me in the back of the head like this.
You're going to give me a disguise.
You're sending me into an Indian casino dressed like a cowboy.
It was that or a ballerina.
Hey,
He was talking to the manager inside there.
something tells me you're not being totally honest with me.
Rule 1. Never put a car seat behind the wheel.
Ben Affleck, Gary Sinise, Charlize Theron. In the new thriller from John Frankenheimer.
Wow.
Reindeer Games.
Yep. Reindeer Games. That was it. Okay, so Ben Affleck plays Rudy. Rudolph. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. And Gary Sinise plays Gabriel. Very angelic. Not so much. I don't know where Ashley comes in as a name, but his cellmate, Rudy's cellmate, is Nick Cassidy. Saint Nick, Santa Claus. Get it?
Yeah.
Whew, they do stretch some metaphors in this movie.
Yeah.
Just a few, yeah.
Yeah, like well beyond the level of breaking.
Yeah. Yeah, if it was elastic, the snapback would have killed somebody.
Yes.
Yeah. This whole script has whiplash. It's bad.
Okay. Yeah, so let's talk about that. Rudy's in jail with a guy named Nick, his cellmate. They have these grand plans when they are going to leave because they're both due for release within just
3 days.
On the same day, yeah.
the same day, within 3 days. I think the jail scene starts about 6 days prior to their release, and we get to about 2 days. Nick
Right
is,
around Christmas.
Right around Christmas. Nick is shivved in jail during a wonderful food fight scene when
Monsters in the Jello.
Isaac Hayes finds monsters in the Jello, big ass cockroaches.
That was so gross. Gross.
That was actually one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie, though.
It's a good idea, but it just made me sick to my stomach.
Yeah,
And it worked. It
And
did what it was
then-
supposed to do.
The giant of a man called the Alamo, Dana Stubblefield, shivs Nick during that riot.
Yep.
We established prior to that moment that Nick is in love with it's a jailhouse love, somebody who's written to him and they've been corresponding this whole time. He's got pictures plastered up in the cell, and of course Rudy knows all about it because he's been there for the whole thing and listening in, and who isn't interested in a better life when they get out.
Exactly. I want to go back really quickly to the first stretch in plot points. The fact that cellmates are getting out on the same day.
Yeah, well,
That's right at the beginning.
Yeah.
not the only convenient moment in the film.
No, not at all, but certainly the
I
first. Right? That's when you know you're not getting a good movie, is when you see something that thin.
I think you'd have maybe 2 at most, but there's like 20 guys getting out that same day. That prison is empty.
Yeah, there was quite surprising. Cause
Yeah, it was a
usually,
busload of people.
Yeah, they literally need a bus for all the people getting released that day. Like, I don't know if they would have said something like, well, it's like Christmas time, so the government's trying to show some mercy. I don't know. They could have dressed up in some way, but still very, very thin.
Yeah. There's a vacancy rate.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he gets out, and of course, Ashley is waiting for Nick to be released.
He's not coming out.
He's not coming out. Rudy decides, okay, give her a Christmas moment. Hey, I'm Nick. Because he's seen the pictures. She's hot.
Yeah,
because it's
so he
Charlize
decides,
Theron. Who wouldn't?
Hey, let's commit a little rape by fraud.
Well,
which is a real thing.
He is in jail. That's the one thing. This movie's not about good people.
But for like boosting cars, that was actually the only line I really kind of enjoyed. Where Nick is in for manslaughter 2 years, he's in there for 5 for boosting cars.
Yeah, and I like that commentary because it's true. It does happen.
It is true.
Yeah,
there's people who are probably in there for drugs for 10 years, and other people who've like probably beaten their wives to death out in 6 months.
And yeah, Nick's story is he accidentally kills a man who was hitting on his girlfriend Millie, which we'll play later.
Ugh.
And apparently he's still mad about it. So she worked at this truck stop.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that'll play.
But we'll
later.
get to that.
We'll get to that.
Anyways, these are waiting outside.
Yeah, so she's waiting outside. They go have this awkward dinner and meet and then have some Christmas nookie. And next thing you know, we meet her brother, and they want to rob a casino that he worked at. Nick worked at. Rudy didn't know anything about the casino, so he's kind of lying through his teeth because they keep beating the shit out of him.
Well, and if he doesn't know anything, what's the use of keeping them around? They'll just kill him.
Exactly.
And they established that
he's
very
constantly stalling it. This is where things get really crazy. But Nick's is saying that is telling Rudy that she is Gabriel's sister. She's actually Gabriel's girlfriend, but not Gabriel's girlfriend because she's actually Millie and actually is in love with Nick, who
isn't really dead.
Who isn't really dead.
Yeah. They actually did want Rudy to do this whole thing and pretend to be Nick. They were completely betting on that he would.
It's a great long con.
It is a great long con, and it makes me want to hit my head on a wall where make sure the stud is right there.
Yeah, it was like one twist too many.
Yeah.
Yes. It's wrong.
And I do kind of like it, but the whole time I'm like, I feel
really
like
contrived.
a comedy that isn't telling any jokes.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's sort of kind of where I went with my remake.
I think all of us thought that way. And it was just, it's so obvious that this movie should have been a comedy.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you're robbing a casino at Christmas. I don't know why, but that just says comedy to me, and I don't know why.
And this kind of plays out like a Die Hard or whatever, this guy's caught up in circumstances, and Gary Sinise plays this really big heavy, but they're a gang of truck drivers who've never robbed anything.
Yeah, they run guns.
But they've killed people before.
They've killed people. Yeah, they run guns. So, I mean, they're obviously bad people, but they haven't even robbed a 7-Eleven. What do you need the money for? I bet you the money in running guns is pretty good.
That's what I thought, and that's like a constant stream of income.
Yeah.
And they've been getting away with it for years. So, yeah, I don't know, one hit at a casino, which will probably really send you down, and that money's going to run out.
Well, there's some dialogue that explains why they want to do it.
Yeah, at least they're smart enough to hit a smaller casino, the Tomahawk Casino, if anybody cares. It's a native-run casino, despite the fact that it's actually run by an Italian who's left Vegas because he can't go back to Vegas.
He can't go back to Vegas. And then there's like something they sort of threw away part way, is there's some dialogue that seems to hint that the casino isn't doing well.
Yes. And he's worried about his job. So
yeah, but then they never really get, there's still tons of money at the end of the day, so is the casino really doing badly?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's all in relative terms for a casino.
I guess,
if anything,
but still.
I was almost expecting one more twist.
But at least address it.
I was expecting almost one more twist where Dennis Farina was going to set up the theft because the insurance is worth more.
I expected something like that because I expected they'd get there and like, there's
why not? Everybody's got a twist.
Yeah, yes. They come in like, they get in there like, this is it? This is all there is?
Like when they rob the casino, nobody's there. How much do you think is going to be on hand?
That's what I was thinking. I'm like, I would say they sent people home, like a twist, they sent people home because they'd already deposited the money for the holidays.
Well, he said he's going to send the security guys home. There's some dialogue there that says, why don't you send most of you guys home?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so like I just expected there to be no money.
Yeah. So like, what are you robbing?
They spent a ton of dialogue setting up that this would not be profitable.
Yeah, when the gang comes in all dressed as Santas, saying they're mall Santas, and Dennis Farina's character is like, "Oh, thank God for mall Santas."
Yeah,
like he thinks that the lack of people on Christmas is going to make or break them.
No.
Come on, of course everybody's with their families at Christmas.
Yeah, but
I mean, not everybody, but
no. I think they would have.
They did wind up ushering 20, 30 people out.
Yeah, they should have had those people who have a serious gambling problem and have lost their families because of the gambling problem. and that's why they're alone on Christmas.
And doing the only thing they love, right?
Yeah. Oh, I would have killed for a Betty White scene. They're playing slots, this cranky old lady.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, everybody get out!" Just like, "Fuck you, I'm winning."
Lady, I have a gun.
That's got to be in our remake.
And she's
my
like,
lucky slot machine.
This is my slot. It's like, fuck your fucking gun. I'm fucking winning, and I'm old. I don't have much time left. What the fuck do you think I'm going to do with this money?
I'm Betty
asshole?
White, and everybody loves that I'm swearing.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
And then while they're when Dennis
This
Farina
already makes the movie 10 times.
and then when
better.
Dennis Farina is shooting everything up, she's still there, just playing.
Well, he's not going to shoot his best customer.
Oh no! But like stuff is getting shot around her, still playing.
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah, that would work.
Okay, we unanimously said Betty White is in our remake.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Because you need that person. Because
We don't need anything else. We can just leave the rest of it the way it is. Just put Betty White in there. And
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
It's
nice.
We made it almost half an hour. We're out.
Nice. I do want one throwaway line where they do say it's kind of sad about her gambling addiction. There has to be one line like that just to address it.
Oh, of course. Of
Yeah.
course.
oh, for sure, yeah.
So, all right, let's address Charlize Theron in this movie.
I like her being bad, but that whole we can get it like the.
I actually, when
I'm
she's
like,
playing the whiny sister / dutiful girlfriend, boy,
I'm not a dude, but would you find that annoying? Because I found it annoying.
Yeah, I did too.
I did too. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I love me some naked Charlize Theron. But this was not the movie for that to happen.
No.
I'm like, see, this is being naked in shitty movies ruined it for the good ones because now she just doesn't do it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. They're shitty movies.
Yeah.
I mean, and when you're up and coming, that's the whole point. She didn't get to the point where she can say yes or no.
Yeah, it's a damn shame.
Like, if you want to see Charlize naked in a good movie and it totally works, because Atomic Blonde, it's great.
Yeah, and these are pointless.
Because it has a purpose.
Yeah, and there's no purpose. Yeah, those sex scenes didn't need it at all.
I think I checked out during the sex scene because I was like, ugh.
Hey, well, you get Ben Affleck butt too.
I don't care.
You don't care?
No.
It was Ben Affleck butt.
It's Ben Affleck, but I think it's the whole point is because the whole movie up until that point seems so fucking tawdry that the sex scene just grossed me out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt dirty already.
It did.
I didn't need to feel more dirty.
Uncomfortable. I think it's the rape by fraud thing. I felt uncomfortable with that.
Yeah.
Everything about that. Yeah, I have to say I felt uncomfortable too.
Yeah, because you do see him wrestling with this idea that I got to tell her I'm not Nick, but he keeps playing it because she's hot and he's getting some, and I felt dirty about that because dude, but he just came from jail. He's not a good person.
No,
but he's not a bad personality. He does non-violent crimes.
He's a car thief.
Yeah. And he's made it clear at the beginning, in the beginning of the movie, that he really does want to get back on the straight and narrow.
Yeah,
right. Because
he just wants to go home.
He
wants to go home.
But he made some bad choices.
Oh, hell
and continues to do so.
He does, and that was one of the things I had trouble with. And I think this is one of the reasons the movie didn't do very well as well. Is it's hard to buy Ben Affleck at this point in his career as a tough guy, bad guy. He's too pretty, baby faced, and his smart alecky sense of humor was the only thing that was humorous at all in the movie, and most of the time it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
Right.
If anything, I think I would have made him that another twist where he was playing the con.
See that, and I would have liked that because that would have at least his good choices would have made more sense to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just wanted a nice throwaway line like, well, I grew up in Boston and I had this really smart friend named Will. And I told him about you guys and this all came together.
Oh, that would add a nice twist to it, yes. But that won't work in the remake because we're not using Ben. So
no. Now we're saying what should have been in there.
Yeah, but I like that direction where because he is smarter than they are.
Yeah,
right. But it doesn't work very well.
The moment he finds out, he's just conning her so he can get some. He's got to find a way out of that at some point. But once this gang comes in and he finds out they're just Joe's. Well, okay, they
can't do it.
They're bad dudes. They don't know how to run a heist like this, and they haven't done the proper scouting or anything. I mean, they got this child scrawling of what the casino looks like.
They also don't know how to scout, because I don't know about you, but if there's security at a casino and a carload of people come in, 2 people get out with cowboy hats, and these 4 thugs are just kind of hanging out, somebody's going to notice.
Yeah, they do have cameras on the outside of casinos as well as the inside.
Yes, very much so.
No, I like the idea of him seeing an opportunity and working to his advantage. Yeah. Because that brings me to one of the things that bothered me most about the movie was, I mean, I understood what he was trying to do, but it didn't work. It was giving away all the money at the end.
Yeah, right. Well,
there's a whole Christmas spirit thing, but
if you're killing off the gang and the gang was 5 Santas and Nick shows up with this surprise ending, why would you throw him over the cliff without taking his clothes first and then walking all the way home to fucking Sidnaw, whatever the hell the place was, in your Santa gear with 2 big bags of money from a casino?
Yeah.
And then he didn't keep it. He was handing it out into mailboxes. And yeah, you can see the smile is making him happy to give some. They're like, you're now giving evidence away to all these people that might get...
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing. Like, I think what they did is like, well, we have to have him in the Santa costume so it seems like he's Santa. And they're like, well, doesn't that... punch a huge hole in the script. They're like, no, it'll be fine, guys. It'll be fine.
He makes a point of saying there needs to be 5 Santa Clauses found, and then he doesn't. If nothing else, he would just take the coat off and toss it over the edge.
What he should have done is like, I mean, his friend, he's broken from the waist down. What is he going to do? Fight you while you get the Santa Claus thing on him?
And how did he get there? There's a car. Why the fuck is he walking?
There was a car beside it.
Nick had to get there somehow. He didn't fucking walk.
Yeah. And he's a car thief. He could have hardwired it. He doesn't need a key.
They make a point, which is one of my other favorite lines in the movie is, never put a car thief behind the wheel of a car.
Yeah.
Love that line. It's probably one of the best moments in the whole film. It's a long fucking time to get to that great line, though.
And he had this knife hidden this whole time and never uses it for anything but picking locks.
And cutting himself free in the car.
Yeah, and cutting himself free in the car. Like, come on, dude. You were in jail. Your buddy got shivved. You could use it for that, too.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if they'd at least establish something where he's like, yeah, I boost cars, but I'm not a killer. Like, he just has a problem with it. I could get on board with that. That would kind of make sense. But he just turns into a cold-blooded killer at the end.
When they give him the realistic-looking squirt gun, somebody made a comment that it sounded like it was full of piss. And then he dumped it out and stuck rum in it and then started shooting it in his mouth. Ew. When I heard that line, I'm like, ew, ew, ew. It's pee rum.
It is pee rum. But
like, when did you have time? You didn't have time to clean the gun out first before putting the rum in it.
I was thinking about that because when he squirts the guy and he's all of a sudden on fire with a teeny bit of rum, I'm wondering what proof it is, because if it's a high enough proof, it's probably sanitized any bit of pee in that thing.
I suppose. And pee is actually pretty clean.
Yeah.
But ew.
Yeah, and I mean, realistically, would they do that if he's going in with a Santa suit? Do they want their Santa to be smelling like piss? Right?
No, but I think they would want him smelling like rum as a mall Santa. I think because they'd be thinking these are just drunk Santas out for a good time.
Yeah. It was at least smart to put it in there. If nothing else, I can get a few shots while I'm in this mess.
And it served a purpose. And I
was so dumb. The guy has a drop on him, but he's going to light a fucking cigarette before shooting him.
It was really
so forced,
ham-fisted. But I saw it coming, but I didn't see it coming in that very clunky way that it did.
Oh boy, was it clunky!
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god! Yeah. If at least we'd established that he was a smoker earlier,
yeah, exactly, and had a lighter.
I don't remember a moment in that movie where he was smoking up to that point.
Yeah, like what they should have had was several points in the movie, like, dude, you can't smoke. Like, there's points where he can't smoke, and he's just so angry because he can't smoke, and then you'd be like, okay, this guy has a serious smoking problem, and now we can use it.
Yeah, you got to at least establish that he's a smoker. That was the first time I saw him with a pack of cigarettes or anything.
He was outside of the hotel. He did go out in the cold a couple times, but that's it. He's a normal smoker.
Maybe I just didn't make the association at that point, but there wasn't enough of it for me to take notice of it.
And it was either way, it was still clunky. Like you're about to kill some guy, and I'll take a time to light a cigarette. I'm going to really bask in
what
this
the hell
moment.
is this?
Yeah.
Very James Bond, but not Bond enough.
And not even that. There's a guy with automatic weaponry wandering around the casino while you're taking your time.
Right.
With shooting this guy.
No, I would have Rudy be the smoker, so he has a lighter, and then when the guy's got to drop it, it says, and then just click, boom, right? That would have made more sense to me, and it wouldn't have felt as clunky.
Yeah.
It's the old hairspray and lighter trick, right?
Yeah, or if nothing else, maybe it was we could establish somebody in the casino had it, or maybe it was on display. I mean, you only need a spark.
Or
you don't
Rudy
need
is
a
a
light.
smoker, and the reason that he goes up in flames is because there's a whole bit, like, they do have an altercation, but part of their fight takes them into the liquor cabinet, and this guy is soaked in spirits. So at least at that point, I could see how he could go up in flames.
Yeah.
Well, I assume those Santa costumes are highly flammable.
Yeah, they are cheap mall store.
They're cheap, but add just a teeny bit of vodka to it. I just need something.
Go up like a Roman candle, yeah.
I need a little bit something more.
Yeah, it'd make that work a lot better in terms of an actual action scene too, right? Because you've got a lead in, right? Because they are fighting for the guns, right?
Yeah.
So
and it's very a brief one. It's a weird teeny fight.
yes, and I mean we've already established that this guy really doesn't like Rudy.
Oh yeah, no,
Right?
they're
And it's because Rudy's lippy and smart alecky and stuff like that. That end conflict with those two really makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Right? It just doesn't work.
Yeah, he was
needs to be
actually,
bigger.
despite the fact that I still don't know what that character's name was, I did cast him.
His name was Merlin.
Merlin. Okay, good. I did figure it out then. I wrote it down in a minute, and I'm like, well, at the last minute last night, I think it's Merlin.
Yeah, I had to go through a few of them. Then I went to the IMDb point where they showed like the screenshots. I'm like, that guy, so I could figure it out.
Yeah. And the IMDb listings were really all over the place, so I had to really fish through it to find the primary cast.
Yeah, and I mean, with a cast like this and a director like Frankenheimer, why were all the performances so awkward?
Yeah,
I mean, because Gary Sinise, phenomenal actor.
Actually, I thought he was decent with what he had, but I almost felt like he was in a different movie.
Yeah,
he thought he was in a different movie.
Yeah.
And then to wind up he just gets shot by Nick at the end, so there's no actual conflict.
He's shot by Ashley.
Ashley. I'm sorry, Ashley.
Yeah.
There's no actual conflict with him. You don't get to see a lot of fighting with him.
Yeah.
Running, shooting people, but
you get the darts thing.
Yeah. He does
shoot that guy in the ice fishing.
No, it's not like we don't see him, Gabriel, being a bad guy, but we don't see
it's
that
really
conflict
anticlimactic
with Rudy.
Yeah. It's ruling by fear, and it's sort of, I think the only thing that proved at the end is when he's looking so dumbfounded by the explanation.
It's the boss fight that never happens.
Yeah. It's the boss fight, and Rudy at that point is saying, he's like, I never said it was a shiv, I said he died. And you can see him being like, how would she know that? And the wheels are kind of turning. All that really establishes he's kind of dumb. Gary Sinise is a little dim. That's all it really gave me.
Yeah, you know what? I have that clip lined up.
Oh, nice.
So let's run that, because that's a good segue into that moment, and it's dumb.
Don't go getting all noble with me, Rudy. Guy takes a shift for you, you go chasing his girlfriend. Don't talk to me about greed.
What? What did you say?
I said don't talk to me about greed.
No, not about that. You said a guy takes a ship for you. I never said anything about a ship. How'd you know there was a ship?
Said it. You said the real Nick died saving you.
No, I didn't. I said he died. I never said how.
Yes, you did.
No, I never said how. I said he died.
You said he was stabbed.
I said he died. I never said how.
You said he was stabbed. That he took a ship, a knife, a shank, whatever.
Ash? How'd she know there was a ship?
Ash?
How'd she know?
men.
It's like two teenagers fighting.
Yeah, I never said that. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Well, two teenagers just having like a romantic fight.
Well, it's not like Gabriel was there for that conversation. Wouldn't he be more apt to believe his girlfriend?
He was there for the conversation.
Was he?
Yeah. Yeah, when the hotel or casino runner
this is not Nick.
outs Rudy, there's the whole conversation about how he died.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and everybody was there at that point.
Right.
Except for the guy who had already been shot, which was Pug, I think. But
Yeah, Pug was gone by that point.
yeah.
Pug.
Yeah. So Sinise was there for the conversation, and that's why you can see his wheels turning. It's like, did he say how he died?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and they're turning so slow.
Yeah, they are turning so slow.
You can just hear the cranks.
Yeah.
Like, just need a little oil there.
Yeah, and that would be definitely one of the things I would change. And this kind of feeds into your or one of your idea. I can't remember who's had the idea of him catching on and sort of setting this up as his own long con. Instead of the whole twist with Nick and Nick being alive at the end, that's where you have your twist is where she's actually bought into Rudy's plan and turns on Gabriel would make more sense.
Yeah. The way I was thinking of it, like, you got a lot of plot strings floating around here, and I kind of wanted to make this a mix of, like, Ocean's 11 meets a Guy Ritchie movie. Lock, Stock,
Oh, yeah, I want it,
barrel.
like, super violent.
I wanted fun violent.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like that.
I mean,
fun,
this is already super violent.
But like not in that mean way. That part where like it's so absurd, it's kind of humorous.
Yeah,
like horror comedy.
You want kind of the I just want those over the top kind of characters and the snappier dialogue and as people are getting caught up and we're seeing the strings being pulled and not sure who is the actual puppet master in this whole thing. So you've got two cons happening from opposite ends.
Yes. Yeah.
Who's conning who?
Exactly.
And who's going to come out on top?
No, and that's kind of where I was thinking too, is like who is conning who?
Yeah, because they're so forceful with the casino bit. We see Nick earlier in the film in the jail stuff. He's talking up his girlfriend and really trying to make his cellmate notice, and it feels obvious.
Yeah,
and then when they get together, him and Ash, Rudy and Ash. She says, well, after the holidays, let's go to that casino you worked at. Yeah. I'm like, there's such obvious setups going here that he should be able to pick up on this and like, well, let's
see. And I think
see what I can do with this.
Because at that point, when she says that, I think at that point there should be like kind of that tweak because he's like going, nobody in their right mind would ask an ex-con to go back to the scene of the crime. Right. Nobody. Yeah. He's like, she can't be that dumb.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because that was just that to me when I heard that I'm like, oh, so she's in on it, and that was exactly what I knew. I didn't know about the Nick thing, but I was like, I know.
Yeah, we don't even see Gabriel at this point, and we already know that there's a con happening.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's readily apparent. Because it's funny. This movie does tie together all of its strings.
It does.
It does tie together all the strings, but it just all those strings are so long. So long,
wrapped around chair legs and up
exactly
up around behind the couch. Cats stuck in it.
It's like in those movies where somebody's trying to connect all the clues and it looks like the room of an insane person.
I mean, all the best moments in this film are all the scenes where Rudy's alone.
Yeah.
Right, there's the scene where he's alone in the hotel room and where he's using the love that scene.
Yeah,
right. The scene where he's trying to break back in. He says like, "You can hotwire a car. Why can't you hotwire a fucking hotel room door?" Right.
That's right. See, the best scenes when Ben Affleck's by himself.
Exactly.
Yeah. And they are the best scenes.
Yeah, they are. I agree.
Yeah,
it's so good
because you can see his wheels turning and how smart he actually is.
And I want more of that.
Yes.
In our remake, where you have this really smart guy. And maybe he's got a secret that we don't even know yet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he got busted for boosting cars, but maybe that's not what he really does.
Yeah, well, does anybody actually tell the truth about why they're in jail?
Yeah.
Really?
So, yeah, I like the idea of him not having that secret, right? Where he got arrested for something or he got put in jail for something that really wasn't all he did, right? He happened to get nicked for busting a car for a bigger job that he had planned, that he's the mastermind of.
Yes.
Right. So he's a con man, and he's a professional criminal. Right. He does big jobs, and the little piece that he was doing is what gets him caught.
Yeah, and like he's smart enough to know that he can, if he plans the big job, he goes to jail for that. But if he just gets caught for being the wheel guy, he's supposed to get less time.
Yeah.
Theoretically, yes.
Theoretically.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's in jail for one thing, but he's actually a much bigger guy than just being the wheelman. He's the plan guy. He's the guy who plots it out. And if he's the dude that is the wheel guy, he's obviously not going to be the one holding the bag.
Nope. Although he did get 5 years, so he got a shitty lawyer. So
because he got, pardon the pun, he got nicked stealing the car before the job ever happened. Right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. He picked the wrong car. It was a cop's car, and the cop walked out and caught him doing it, or something like that. Something really stupid. Yeah. Right. Just one of those unfortunate accidents where something went wrong.
Yeah. Oh, it was low jacked or something.
Yeah. Something along those lines. But yeah,
most new cars have GPS, and he probably should have known better.
Yeah. Well, in our movie, he will.
Yeah. Or just have bad timing.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say bad timing because he's probably going to go for a late model car that doesn't have the GPS. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he couldn't find one because that could be the other thing. He was planning on having a car that would be useful to him at that time, and it just wasn't there.
Right, and maybe he was like sort of a last minute thing, and he got nicked before he got. Sorry, I did it again.
Yeah, nice.
Before he actually got to the job, but either way, the job never happened. Right, because he got caught before it happened.
Yeah, so now he's being fed all this information in jail by Nick.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows a plan when he sees one.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's like months of this deliberate...
Because he's a con man who spots a con.
Here's my hot girlfriend. I work at this
never
casino.
Met. She's never seen me.
Yeah. All of this. So the wheels are turning, and you can communicate with people in jail.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a little bit of effort, but you have people visit, and you can make phone calls and send letters and all sorts of things. That's how a jailhouse romance started, was with letters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
with Nick.
I mean, if the thing is Nick's is kind of established he's not really a criminal. This is a manslaughter charge. It was an accidental killing, right?
Yeah.
So he's not a professional criminal. Right,
no.
He's just a guy who got caught in unfortunate circumstances. At least that's the way he's played. Right?
Yeah,
and I keep him that way.
Yeah, so he wants revenge on his employer. He can do this heist, and he's using these dumb truck drivers who were hitting on his girlfriend, Millie, and she's posing as Ashley.
Oh, you could have a great bit of dialogue at the end of the movie when Nick shows up again, where Rudy says to him, "Dude, I knew what you're doing. If you'd have been upfront with me, this could have worked out way better because it was a good idea.
Now I don't have to. Now I have to do this.
Yeah,
yeah, and he's been able to put his own guys in place. So I think he knows the casino owner, who's already hiding out from Vegas. So I would think, as a more established criminal in Rudy, he's going to know. He's going to have a lot more connections.
Yeah, like when Rudy's unmasked as not being Nick.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, Jack.
You don't cast somebody like Dennis Farina and then he's not got mob ties.
No,
exactly.
No, the man made a career out of playing those roles.
Yeah, although he's probably in hiding from the mob with a name like Jack Banks.
Yes.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Yeah. So here's a heist waiting to happen. He's already concerned about his job per se, or the casino's not doing particularly well. That money's insured.
Yep.
So they steal that money, split it 2 ways. Everybody coming out ahead. They've already alluded to the fact that Jack could be embezzling, and that money's in the powwow safe, which is actually full of guns. He's got this whole setup all ready to happen in there.
Yeah.
And
he knows the heist is going to happen.
He knows the heist is going to happen. Say his guards are already, I don't know.
That's why he sends them home.
He sends them home.
Yeah, he doesn't want them hurt.
Yeah, and the few guys that are left have got bulletproof vests, and they're his guys. They're in on the heist.
Yeah.
They want them to get away.
Exactly. Yeah,
but then these guys fuck up.
Yeah, well, and as the few guards that are fighting get to pick off some of this gang of stupid truck drivers trying to do this heist with the wrong information.
And the gang gets too trigger happy, at which point they're like, damn it, this could have been such an easy, simple heist, you guys. And now you went and fucked up.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, no, I think that works really well. And
I get the whole Christmas thing about handing out the cash at the end of the movie, but it's dumb.
It's dumb.
Oh yeah, well no, like he's got to take
In
off
more
that
ways than
Santa
one.
suit and put it on Nick. There's got to be 5 Santas.
Yeah, that's easy enough to do. We'll fix that. We've established that needs to happen. We'll fix that right away.
Yeah, and I mean, we don't even have to establish how Nick really knows Jack, but we have to establish that he does know Jack.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Well, I mean, that coat, we can have him when he's in there as the cowboy in an Indian.
Like they just, why don't we just make him like everybody will notice he's there? Like these guys, you can tell they haven't done a robbery because they have zero idea how to case a casino.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's make them notice all of us.
Yeah, and I think that if we play up on that, right, that would work really well into Rudy's plan, right? It's like, these guys are fucking idiots. They have no idea. I'm going to go with it.
Yeah, so this what seems like innocuous dialogue between Jack Bangs and Rudy is actually something else.
Yeah,
and we can slip in a couple of code words in there, like, Christmas Eve or whatever.
Yeah. Christmas Eve is a busy time, isn't it? Yeah, some people don't have families.
Yeah. Yeah, or or something along those lines. Or it's like we're here until Christmas Eve, right?
Yeah,
something along those lines. But yeah, have them really chew it up. Like it's like, okay, well, this is what these idiots want to do. I'm going to go with it, right? Because it just gives me a chance to talk to Jack anyhow.
Yeah, I mean, if Jack obviously knows who Nick is because he was one of the security guards that gets fired for legit reasons, and you can't have Nick show up. Mm-hmm. So Rudy shows up in a very different way,
like a very bad disguise.
How do you? Well, I guess I'm guessing Rudy would still have never been at this casino because otherwise Nick would have known who he was. But this is all set up through jail.
Yeah, he knows Jack. Jack has told him everything he needs to know.
Yeah, and he just knew he wound up knowing Jack through a previous life.
Yeah, because the casino opened while Rudy was in prison because the casino had only been open for 5 years. He'd been in prison for 5 years.
That's right. So Rudy would have never been there.
Oh, so he would actually, that would be really good at establishing how he kind of knows Jack. Jack went on the run. Like it could be tangentially related to why Jack is in hiding.
Jack was in on his job.
Oh yeah,
because that could be. Yeah,
they were gonna irony. They were gonna do a casino job in Atlantic City. Jack was their inside man.
Yes,
nice. Love it.
I love it. I love it so much.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah,
yeah. And they somehow they found out that Jack was involved, and that's why they're on the run.
Right.
Yeah,
I like it.
And that's the real romance. Jack is waiting on the outside for Rudy to come back, so they can pull that one last job.
Yeah. No, I love the idea of him going to jail for a casino heist and then coming out to complete one.
Oh, it makes sense. It's got a
so
nice,
tidy.
Yeah, it's like bookended. I love it.
Yeah. And it gives us a reason for him to know Jack. And how sort of karmic synergy works.
Yeah, and it's kind of got that complex heist movie thing I was looking for.
Yeah.
And also, it's fucking funny.
Yes, yes. And that's what this movie feels like it should be. Yeah. Like, it feels like this script was meant to be a comedy.
Yeah.
Or at least an action comedy, and not the more darker take that Frankenheimer took it in.
Yeah. That's the thing. Like, I think Ben Affleck can do good comedy. I want to see him do that in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have to.
I'm still recasting, but in this particular movie.
Yeah, and there was some dark stuff in this movie when he's getting tortured with the darts, and
which I would still keep, but I would try to make it funnier. Like, there's a one line there where it's like, I want to get this done before you start trying to hit me. He's like, "What do you mean? I was trying to hit you." Great line.
It is a great line.
Yeah, but because Gabriel's so dark, it doesn't come across as funny. It comes across as incompetent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, yeah, he's just constantly playing tough guy. And I think he should still be that tough guy.
Yeah, and the guy I cast actually does it very, very well. So
the guy I cast is going to work so good. Like, Gabriel's just kind of crazy.
Yes. And I'd like to see him go sort of crazy dark, but also that so crazy that it's funny.
Yeah, crazy guy with big dreams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gary Sinise comes off competent for the most part in dark and that leader, but he's just as inexperienced as the rest of his guys. He's tough in the fact that, like, he can make shady deals with the gun running, but doesn't know how to run a gang for this kind of heist. So, like, he should come off over his head in some regards. So in my casting, I kind of got somebody who could be dark but still come off stupid.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I would establish the fact that Gabriel and his buddies are employees of a gun runner. They just run the trucks.
Yeah.
Right?
Because
So they're not planners.
No, not at all.
Right? And they're just tired of being on the road. They're looking for a payout, and they're taking advantage of this last gun run that they're doing to get the weapons they need for the.
I kept a lot of my cast in that 20s to 30s age.
I did too, yeah.
To keep them kind of young, inexperienced, and naive.
I'm sort of all over the place. I sort of have my gang is kind of older. I think the thing is,
I do have
they
some.
see the sun setting on their crime.
I mean,
time.
truck drivers are of all sorts of ages.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I went that way with my truck drivers as well, yeah.
But I realized this when you were talking about Gary Sinise's character, and I think this is one of the major problems I have with the movie and why some of the stuff with Gabriel didn't land is up until this point, we saw him in movies where he was a very capable and intelligent character. So to see him play someone dim, I couldn't process it.
Yeah, because he does bad very well.
Yes.
Yeah, but he still should be smart bad, and he's supposed to be dim bad, and that's not what was working.
No, there's a lot of conflict in this plot because he comes off as this capable planner and then holds up what looks like a child scrawling of the casino. Okay. And I like the idea of him playing badass, but just being an idiot.
Yeah.
Because it plays up to the comedy of aspects of this film.
It would make the childlike drawing very, very funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of disappointing.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that was actually
Because they play some of the scenes that should have comic relief. They still play those really serious as well. And it's sometimes that seriousness, it does this movie a huge disservice. Like, you should put those comedic moments in where they need to be.
Oh, I have another great fun moment.
They beg for it.
Yeah. So instead of having like Rudy draw out the plans of the second floor, he could say, "Dudes, these plans are public record. Let's just go to the city clerks and get the plans."
Exactly.
Right.
It would be funny. It would make Gabriel look even stupider.
Right.
Yeah. This is what they look like.
Yeah, and then I can tell you what each room is.
Yeah, and you flip over his child scrawling map, and it's on the back of like some diner mat that has puzzles on the the other side.
Yeah. Or like
and one of the guys has halfway done the maze. They've not finished it, but
or
they've
it's half colored. It's a half colored drawing like
drawing.
that. Outside the lines.
It could be Pug is like, look, I was just taking artistic license. Nobody says the sky has to be blue.
There was no blue in the crayon pack.
Yeah.
They just gave me yellow and red. What was I supposed to do?
My food took so long, I had to do something.
Oh, the diner. They should have done it in the diner scene with the hot chocolate and fucking pecan pie.
Yes. And I love that bit too. I mean,
that was a good moment.
Yeah.
That was like the funniest moment in the movie.
Yeah.
And even then they play it dark. It's like, here's a joke that's kind of landing, and oh no, we got to just not do that.
See, I think in some instances what we're talking about are what people actually legitimately thought they were filming as jokes.
Well, and I think we just hit the nail on the head. Is what the problem is with it being Frankenheimer who directed this, because he does not do comedy.
No,
Ooh.
Right? I mean, you think about his body of work, and it's all dark action kind of stuff. I mean, Ronin, fantastic film,
really good,
but not funny in any way.
Yeah, and my understanding is Frankenheimer's vision of this movie was quite a bit different from the script. I mean, given the scriptwriter, how good could it have been? But but I would like to see what the original intention was, because it does feel like it was meant to be a more fun comedic movie. I mean, comedic action movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, a Santa heist. If that's your pitch, it's a Santa heist movie. If the guy you're pitching it to doesn't automatically think, oh, it's a comedy, he's an idiot.
He's the wrong damn director for you.
Yeah, he doesn't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I like the direction we're taking. Like, if we're going to twist this movie, let's
throw one more in there.
Let's throw a hell of a lot more in.
And I love the idea of Rudy just manipulating everybody to get that cash.
Uh-huh.
It's the
Including
heist-
Jack.
Including Jack. I mean, Nick's like, let's do a heist with a bunch of dumb people. Well, guess what? Rudy's doing it to you.
Yep.
You've put the men in place, and they're all disposable. And now you got him and Jack are planning from the inside. Who's in jail, waiting for this day to come. And oh look, he's conveniently killed during the monsters in the Jell-O scene.
Yep.
I don't know why Jell-O's suddenly associated with monsters.
I don't know.
No, that doesn't relate to
Third
anything
Rock
at
from
all.
the Sun? Do you remember that episode?
No.
Oh, there's a whole thing in Third Rock from the Sun when the aliens get here and somebody feeds them Jell-O and they scream and they run away because they think it's a monster.
I was making a Bill Cosby joke, but okay.
Oh, okay. I went. Sorry, I was much happier about my. I'm sorry, but I prefer my direction.
Okay, it's fair. You've rewritten Jell-O jokes.
But yeah,
too.
rewatch that TV show. There's a running joke about Jell-O in that entire series.
Okay, well, there you go.
But yeah, just the idea, yeah. I'm just like, of Jack like manipulating everybody is just, it works really well.
It makes me excited to see this stupid ass movie.
Yeah, right.
And to be fair, if I could unmake a movie, I would do it to this one and just not let it happen at all. But since it did, we can totally make it better.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think we've done that. Like I like the idea of you got to lighten the tone on this thing and get rid of the ickier aspects with Rudy.
Oh yeah, with the rape by fraud, we get rid of that.
Yeah, because he doesn't need to do that. We can make him a better guy by just
have him pretend to be Nick, taking it slow,
manipulating her emotionally rather than physically.
Right? Yeah, the one weapon she's trying to use,
he takes it away,
and he's not biting.
Yeah. She can't figure out what to do. She's like, he won't sleep with me.
Yeah, I mean that could play really well at the end of the movie too, where
it makes him more likable. And makes him more likable.
Yeah.
Well, she's off on her own.
She's off on her own.
She's playing everybody.
She's playing everybody. I would like a bit at the back who's like, why the hell wouldn't you sleep with me? And then at the end, there's the reveal. You're like, oh.
Because you're sleeping with everybody else.
Yeah.
He's like going, he didn't want to. Yeah.
Because it was a risky proposition.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah, I think so, I have that play right before she meets her demise.
She's like,
there's one thing I want to know, Rudy. Why wouldn't you sleep with me? Because you're a slut.
Well, no, it's not that she's a slut. I think the point should be like, no, I didn't sleep with you because I know it was your form of manipulation.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. And she's like, all right, self-esteem restored.
Hey, you're hot. It's okay.
I'm hot. So he didn't sleep with me because of what I looked like. It's because who I was inside. That's
now run over
kind of
with
romantic.
Now run her over with the fiery cut.
Yeah, exactly. Like he kills her, but the fact that he hated her for who she was is a little bit romantic.
Aww.
Yeah,
because I didn't buy him falling in love with her.
No.
I mean that whole scene where he rescues her from the ice, that could almost go right in favor of more,
and the malicious killing of an innocent.
Yeah.
I mean that's there just to make
for Gabriel
just to make Gabriel look like a real monster.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't need to be there because we want him to appear a little more incompetent.
Yeah.
Over his head.
Yeah, you don't need a thing with him saving from the ice that seemed like sort of a weird addendum, so you can just like cut that scene.
I mean, I like the idea of him sort of putting one over on them and escaping, but when he gets caught, it's because he wants to get caught.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm. He's like, oh shit, I'm getting away. I'm not supposed to be getting away.
Yeah.
Oh no, you have caught me. Oh.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know how you do it, but yeah, he'd set up getting caught.
He's sitting there, he's like going like, crap. Okay, I'm getting away. This is too easy. These guys are really dumb. What do I do? What do I do?
Start slipping on the ice.
Yeah, no, he's like, horror movies. Oh no. Just like randomly falls down over nothing. He's like, people always fall down. And that's how they get caught.
We could have that nice close-up. Come on, guys.
Actually, you know what? You could end it right at that scene where he makes it to the road, he starts to wave down the car, but he actually knows it's them, and he's waving them down on purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? And you can sort of see the smile in him, then put on the oh shit look on his face, and he puts his hands up.
Yeah, he's waving down. Oh man.
Yeah, yeah, that would be funnier.
It just makes them look stupid.
Yeah.
He's waiting there for him. Where are you guys?
Have one of the flashbacks at the end, like, what the fuck took you guys so? I was really tired.
Yeah, if he was being held
cold. He does need to be cold, because that whole scene with the darts and the scene. I like the whole scene with the dartboard, right, where he's like shivering and he can't even hold on the dart.
He's like, do you guys know how hard it is to run in the snow? Do you ever fucking ever? Like, I was on foot and you were in a vehicle. How incompetent are you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that would work better. Then you still get him to be being as really cold, but without all that extra stuff with him rescuing her. Because honestly, this character would have let her die.
Yeah,
right. He would, if he really wanted to get away, he would have let her die.
He might have, but I think he might have been like, if she goes, I might not be able to use these guys as well.
Well, they keep trying to struggle with his morals, and I don't buy it a lot of the times. Like, he's pissed off because he's been manipulated into this situation in the actual movie, and having her fall through. Well, if that's the sister, or even if it's not, they're going to want to go in. This is perfect opportunity to get away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm pretty happy with our structure. Shall we do some casting here?
Yay!
Cool. I'm going to start here because, I didn't cast everybody, and maybe you guys can round out my casting here. I was going through, as I said earlier, I wanted something Guy Ritchie type of movie meets Ocean's 11, so I went with Guy Ritchie as my director, obviously.
Nice.
Because I like that snappy dialogue. He hasn't been good at it lately, but I'd like to see him
because he's trying to do it in medieval times. It's not going to work.
No, I just go back and do some more Lock, Stock, and Snatch type movies.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
I'm on board. He's my director. For my Ashley, still had to have like that kind of hot girl, but still could do that evil turn. And I talked about her recently in a Netflix movie called The Babysitter, Samara Weaving.
Yes.
I went with Samara Weaving as Ashley, and I do see some good things happening with that actress.
I watched that yesterday, and she's great.
She is great. For my Gabriel, I went with Alfie Allen. He was
nicely done.
He was in John Wick as the evil
spoiled Russian
brat kid. So I'm like, this is kind of the perfect mix of what I'm looking for. And as the whole thing coalesced here while we were talking, it just got better and better. I'm like, okay, this reaffirms my right choice for this casting, because he's got the right bit of mean and stupid. For my Nick, I went with Andrew Garfield.
Ooh.
Because I wanted somebody who was smart but not physically intimidating, much like the actor that was in that part.
Yeah. That actor went on to, I only recognized him from one other thing, which is True Blood, where he plays evil there too.
There you go.
There you go.
And, opposite of Spider-Man.
Yes.
Yeah. He's definitely going on to some really good roles since post-Spider-Man. So
yeah.
Because he's a good actor.
Yeah, he's a good actor, and that'd be a good guy to put in there for that twist ending that's actually a twist on a twist that we've done. We've twisted it up so much it's a big ass knot. For Merlin, because he was he was the only heavy out of the gang that I did cast, because he actually had a major part.
Yeah.
And I wanted somebody who's capable fighter, and I think is an underrated actor, is Michael Jai White.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely capable.
For my Rudy, a great up-and-comer, and I think deserves to finally lead some movies, Scott Eastwood.
Oh, okay.
Because I think we've seen him do some lighter roles, and we've seen him in some action parts, and I think he's kind of ready. I think he could do this, what we're looking for, and I can totally see him leading his own heist.
Well, like we say, between the what we want is the more extended, bigger fight between Merlin and Rudy. Mm-hmm. That sort of works.
And I mean, Scott Eastwood's actually a fairly small guy compared to Michael Jai White, so that'll be kind of.
But he's kind of a physical guy too.
He is. I like the idea of a smaller action guy, but we got that out of Sylvester Stallone, so small doesn't mean incapable.
Oh, wait to hear who I've cast as my Rudy.
Yeah, my Rudy. Yeah, I don't know.
And I had to cast Jack Bangs, because even though it's a small part with Dennis Farina, I wanted another Italian who's very much associated with mob movies and mob shows, and I went with Michael Imperioli.
Oh,
Okay, nicely
I
done.
love it.
Thank
I love
you.
it.
Thank you
I
very
didn't
much.
cast my Jack Bangs because when we were casting, he's a pretty minor role.
I cast my Jack Bangs, but
Well,
I went
not
with a very
anymore, though.
Not anymore.
broad comedy.
Okay, well, let's go to Trish
Dig
on
into
this, 'cause
me?
that's all I had. I didn't cast any of the other gang members because I didn't feel there was enough character there for me to give a rat's ass.
Oh, for sure. And that's the thing. But now what we've done,
we
we've
can find
expanded on it.
Yeah, and in hindsight, I probably should have because now we got a much more interesting movie, and those characters can have a lot more depth.
But how many of us, when we've done our cast, we've just eliminated characters because of our direction? So
Yeah,
that's what happens.
it does.
That's exactly
what
what
we do.
happens. And I've got a black Jack Bangs.
In mind now.
And now,
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Actually, ironically, when we're talking about this movie, when we're talking about making comedic, and we're talking about the person who makes the best use of Ben Affleck, I actually went with Kevin Smith.
Nice.
I don't know. And that came up before we even started talking about it. So yay. And I'll go kind of from the bottom. For my Merlin, I went with John Cena because I like to see him do comedy.
John Cena's pretty good at it. I think he's going to make that transition from wrestling very soon here as probably a full-time actor, and the parts are coming a lot quicker now. I guess it depends on how that stupid Bumblebee movie will do. He's much like The Rock, he's off to a weird start, but it didn't take long for The Rock to break through some of the dumber roles.
There's one Ferdinand, I believe he's voicing Ferdinand.
Yeah, he's the voice Ferdinand,
which I'm totally looking forward to. I love that cartoon.
Yeah, no, he's getting a lot of parts now, so I don't think we're going to see him wrestling too much longer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then I kept Jumpy, and I kept it Danny Trejo. Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Because I like the line where Jumpy's talking about, they're talking about like the retail place. They make most of their money in December. How dumb is that? If you were smart, why don't you grow the economy by having like a second major Thanksgiving holiday?
Since this movie came out, we've seen him lead his own movies, and I think he is underutilized sometimes.
I want him to be kind of like the smarter.
He's our link to this old version.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. And I want him to also play like the smartest thug who somehow is not at the top.
Yeah, the elder statesman of the group.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I changed Pug because I really like this actress, and I think it'd be fun because they're just driving trucks. You don't need a big boy to do that. Jessica Williams. Mm-hmm. She's one of the Two Dope Queens, and she's so funny. She's got a few movies out there. She's really good.
Cool.
So for Jack Bangs, I went with Alec Baldwin.
Oh, I also like that.
I also like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of funny. Gabriel, Jason Mantzoukas.
That's weird.
Well, think of Adrian Pimento from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and you'll see where I was going.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never seen that show, so
oh, okay, yeah,
I can't picture that
because he does like insane, intense, crazy. It's really good. For Ashley, I also want a cute actress who could also do comedy. I went with Isla Fisher.
Okay, yep.
I think she's very funny. Nick Castia, I went with Paul Rudd.
Okay.
I was like, I just went a little older, and I don't know about my Rudy, but I really like this. I really like him, and I thought because I went really broad comedy with this. Aziz Ansari.
Oh boy, yeah, you went hardcore comedy with this one. I was thinking with lighter, like a comedy mix, like that.
Yeah, no, but I mean, most of these guys I would keep. Jason Mantzoukas, I definitely think.
I think the linking thing with all of us is we all thought this needed to be more funny.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
What do you got, Sammy?
Okay, so I'm going to go with my Jack Bangs while it's still fresh in my mind. As we're sitting here, I'm thinking, who does Mobster really, really well? Ray Liotta.
Oh, yeah.
I like that too.
Yeah,
that
I know
is good.
It's a tough one. So I'm going.
You don't see him do a lot of comedy, so.
No.
But he's capable of it.
But he is.
I've seen him play funny.
What was the one with Sigourney Weaver and Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Oh,
Heartbreakers.
Heartbreakers. He was great in that.
That was a great movie.
And even in Hannibal, where the whole scene where he's getting his brain eaten.
Yes.
I mean, it was still funny, right? Because he played that seriously, but it still had that undertone of comedy, and that's kind of what I was thinking. Yeah, Ray works.
First guy I ever felt nauseous laughter around.
Yes. So for my Rudy, I went with Aaron Paul.
You know, I almost cast him.
Yeah.
I was really looking at that because I'm like, well, they're right. He is trying to do some movies.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
Yeah, he's done a couple sort of lead and supporting roles, and I know he can do comedy. He's done Funny or Die bits and stuff like that, so he's capable of comedy. So I'm like,
I almost did it myself. Like it was on my list. I'm like, maybe I'll save him for another movie. But he certainly fit with the tone we've definitely gone with now.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm totally on board with that. that.
Yeah. So for my Nick, I went with a young actor named Alexander Ludwig, who actually has a very similar look to Alan Paul.
Yes.
Right. So that plays a whole switching places really, really well because they look similar. It would be really easy for him to sort of, well, we look kind of alike. I bet you can get away with it.
Yeah.
Right? Can play very well into his plan, too. It's like
definitely a size discrepancy, but they look alike.
They look, yeah, that's true. There is a bit of a size discrepancy, yes. For my Gabriel, I went with Wes Bentley.
Nice.
Yeah, he can do.
That was another name that came across my list.
I like when he does crazy.
Yeah,
and he can play dim-witted too. In Hunger Games, that guy, his character in Hunger Games was really quite dim.
Right.
So
the smartest thing was his facial hair. It's insane.
It is insane, and so I'm like, yeah, I like that. I can buy that. For my Ashley, I went with an actress named Kayla Skol. I can't even say her last name, but it's Scodelario. She was the voice of Eve in Moon.
Ooh.
Right, and she's also done quite a few supporting roles in feature films. She's in the Maze Runner series, got a few other stuff, things out there that you've seen her in, and she's stunning. She's a beautiful, beautiful young woman. For my pug, I went with Kim Coates.
Okay.
Again, because he's kind of got that biker trucker look.
Oh yeah,
he's a little bit older because I wanted to keep it mixed up because not all truckers are young guys and not all truckers are old guys. Right?
Well, I sort of felt that this gang sort of just came together. Like there's a disparity.
Well,
everybody was.
They're all working for the same gun runner, right?
Yeah.
For my Merlin, I went to Brooklyn Nine-Nine too.
Ooh.
I went with Terry Crews.
Yay!
Because I love Terry Crews.
Nice.
And that would make the size disparity between him and Aaron Paul.
Oh yeah,
would make for a really classic, kind of funny.
No more
battle.
taking down him in 5 minutes.
No, exactly. It could make for a classic comedy action fight.
Yeah, like he'd have to soak him in booze and put him on fire. That's the only way he's winning.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly. So it makes a lot of sense. For my Jumpy, I went with an actor who's in a show I've been watching lately and I'm really, really enjoying. His name's Ben Robson. He has that look. He's got the long hair and the tattoos and the facial hair. So I was thinking, yeah, he'd play a good kind of rough and tumble trucker who's working for a gun runner. If you haven't seen Animal Kingdom, I was telling Jay about it before we started recording. I recommend watching it. It's a really great character-driven crime show.
Okay.
And then for my director...
what was the name?
Ben Robson.
Ben Robson, that's
yes.
Thanks.
For my director, I'm with a director we've actually talked about before. He's done a remake, and it kind of had a little of a light tone. I went with F. Gary Gray, who directed The Italian Job.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. And I thought he'd bring that kind of sensibility, right? The comedy to it without losing the action part of it. Because The Italian Job is pretty light.
Yeah, I think we all kind of had a similar tone. You went heavy comedy with it.
I went heavy
That's
comedy.
all right. I mean, this is a ridiculous premise.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's just you got to find just that ground, and it's sort of hard. The tone is.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a ridiculous premise. I think it's a great premise.
Yeah, for a fun action movie.
It's just tonally getting it right.
Yeah, when you're going as this serious, the plot of this movie just seems that more ridiculous. Mm-hmm. But if you do it something with that tone of Italian Job or a Snatch, or in your case, you're going for something even funnier.
Yeah.
But I think that's where the balance of such a weird script will find itself.
Yeah.
And I mean, at times it was trying to really punch through in this movie, and it just you could see the intention was there, but Frankenheimer was having none of it.
Well, it's like, imagine if either Ocean's 11 was just so dark and serious.
Yeah.
It would be a completely unenjoyable movie.
Yeah. Yeah. If you did exactly the same, but just really, really dark.
And yeah, it's somehow manage to take those comedic moments and make them just as flat as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what this movie did. So you really, if you added some other twists in there and make it a twisty, turny kind of heist movie, I think that would go a lot better. And who's manipulating who? I really like the idea of that.
Yes,
exactly.
I initially coming into this podcast, I thought, well, we need to simplify this, but no, we just overcomplicate. We put another complication into it.
I think the whole point of it too is what we did is we made the stuff that depended on something random to happen actually makes sense, because then it does not become random.
That's right, because Rudy wants it to happen.
Yes,
right, and then you get such a great freaking opportunity there at the end of the movie after they take out Gabriel. However they do it, whether Ashley does it or Rudy does it, you can hear Rudy can have a line that's like, "Come on out, Nick." Like he's like,
yes,
like he knows, right? That's your reveal that he's far more aware than people realize.
Yeah.
Right. Even though he's still tied up or whatever the case may be, he can tell Nick that it's time to come out. Right. And then maybe it turns out that Nick and Rudy were in on together and they're fucking over Ashley.
Ooh, or maybe it could be the whole bit too, where Jack didn't die. It's like a second. Oh, you thought you were the only one who could play dead, Nick?
Yeah, that could be fun. But you could, I mean, you could even have it.
Jackie's on the run from the mob. He knows how to play dead.
Yeah, because the ending was kind of anticlimactic because it all happened really fast. So, I mean, Gabriel's dead, then Ashley's dead, then Nick's dead. It was
one after the other, boom, boom.
Right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
The payoff was really, really limp.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, the way we talked about with Merlin going out really conveniently.
Yeah.
Oh, he has the rum gun.
Yeah.
And
like people who got big deaths it didn't make sense.
Yeah.
No, they happened so quickly.
Yeah, and so yeah, it was kind of like having a really great steak dinner with a shitty dessert.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
Well,
except you didn't have a great steak dinner. You had like meatloaf, but
really greasy meatloaf.
It's kind of like, guys, we're running out of time. We've got to wrap it up.
Yeah, Frankenheimer's production, the movie, the studio's going, dude, you're already 2 hours. You got to wrap it up. So I went, okay, fine, right? But yeah, no, have it so like where create that doubt in Ashley's mind that maybe Nick and Rudy have been on together all along, right? So it really just fuck with people's heads right in that last 10 minutes, right? And then. Yeah, have Jack show up or have him meet up with Jack, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could establish that, I mean, if this is a big plan with Jack and we now know that these guys have a bunch of guns and Rudy could just come and go as he pleases after getting locked up because he's really good at picking locks, to say they don't just swap out blanks for all their bullets.
Oh, nice.
So it's all just squibs going off and it's all guys in on the heist in the casino. Because, as we've established, he sent everybody else home because it's a dead night.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm liking that.
I do enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives that other thing, too, where I'm kind of...
you're not seeing what you think you're seeing moment.
And
yes.
It also kind of makes me root a little bit more for Rudy because they're like, no, we didn't want this to be like a blood splatter fest. Mm-hmm. We just want to get out with our money.
Well, we do. The guns that the guards have
no. He doesn't care about those guys.
No, he doesn't care about these
He doesn't give a shit.
Runners.
But he's like going, no, but my gang I care about. I don't give a shit about you guys.
Yeah. No, he's got to protect his boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, he cares about people. They're just not the people he cares about.
You can even have a fun scene with Jack and his guys going around and swapping out the magazines on the guns with real bullets so that the cops, when they show up, they're not going, well, these are all blanks. What the fuck happened?
Yeah. This could even be better with the thing with Merlin. Merlin, instead of lighting up before he shoots, actually tries to shoot. And nothing happened. He doesn't go down. He's like, well, fuck.
Yeah.
Then he lights up, and then he does a split fighter with the lighter thing.
Yeah. Or
then it's like, oh, well, shit.
Yeah. And you can have Rudy's like going, you know what? You really shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. No. And I see Merlin being a cigar smoker, like the soggy.
Yeah,
dollar store cigars, right? Right. So yeah, you have it's like, and then he's lighting it up, and that works, and it's funnier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you still got to light him on fire.
Yes.
Oh yeah, no, it's got to.
Yeah, especially if you have a smaller guy against somebody like Terry Crews or Michael Jai White.
Ooh, you can have Rudy actually offering him a light. He's like, yeah, okay, fine. And then he's like, you enjoying that cigar? Lights him on fire.
Yeah.
Might be a bit too dark.
Maybe, but that's fine.
I mean, you can't
have a moment.
Yeah, I mean, all the best action comedies have those moments of darkness because it makes the comedy that much funnier.
Yeah,
right. Because it takes you out of takes you out of those dark moments.
Yeah. When I was watching this movie, like I kept expecting those moments because it was so dark at times, and every time there's a moment of levity.
Possible levity.
Like you can see where it wants to come out. They won't let it happen. Like you can even see that the joke is kind of there, but nope. Everybody's going to play it as straight as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, the only one who gets any funny lines is Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
And in most of those lines are throwaway lines when they're grilling him.
Yeah.
Right. Because he's being a smartass. So he just comes across as a smartass, and it's not really funny.
Yeah, it's kind of like he's getting away with it. Like John Frankenheimer literally wasn't paying attention at that moment, and he managed to get in some funny.
Yeah. When he creates the distraction in the casino, and tosses over the blackjack table. And he goes, "What kind of people cheat Santa Claus?"
Yeah.
That was my favorite line.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I loved it when he's like tackling an old guy. He's like, "Dude, just stay down. Dude, just stay down."
Yeah, he's wanting to make sure
I laughed a bit.
He's get caught in the crossfire. Yeah.
Yeah, no, his gang is very much like the Clooney gang. They go in clean and get out with everything they need.
He
and
only wants to take out the bad guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess he's not like Clooney.
Well,
there was no body count.
His bad guys.
Yeah.
Are fine, but the other bad guys he doesn't care for.
He's got a moral ground. He doesn't want innocent civilians hurt, but he's not above taking out other bad guys.
Yeah.
And you know what? Why not? Right?
Oh, yeah.
Especially when they need 5 bodies.
Yeah.
Right? To make this a clean getaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
These guys agreed to this. He's like, I didn't have to twist a damn arm to get you here.
Yeah, no, this is their plan. I'm just making it better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm taking advantage of it.
Better for me.
Yeah.
You won't know about this till the end.
Yeah, no,
he has a very Merry Christmas.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and ditch the whole walking down, giving money away bullshit.
That's the happy. I want to call it the happy Christmas moment, but it's more the
contrived.
You know what? You can still kind of get the happy Christmas moment. It was like, I never used to be a Christmas guy, but you know what? All it takes is one really good Christmas. And like you can see him going home and buying gifts for his family. They don't know where the money came from.
Yeah, all the bad people are dead, and
he gets to home at like that the scene where he's at the table with his family, still in the Santa suit, dirty as all hell.
No.
With the shit eating grin on his face. I mean, that I like that.
I'm going to guess he, at some point, changed and got a shower.
Yeah.
Because he is a fucking car thief.
Yes, and I mean, your family would not let you sit down at the dinner table in a greasy, dirty Santa suit.
That probably smells like blood and
fire
urine and fire and gasoline and... You definitely because they put gasoline in the car. He smells like gasoline.
Yes.
And he's been walking for how long? He's got a fucking stink.
Yes, yeah. No, and I mean, you're right. The point is that Santa suit had to come off anyhow.
Yeah,
right. Because they need 5 Santas.
Yeah, you need 5 Santas.
I just had a weird thought. What if Jack Bangs? What if that was his dad?
Ooh, that would be kind of funny. Merry Christmas, Dad.
Yeah, they sit down and have Christmas dinner.
Yeah, he does say he wants to go. We
have that moment where he's at Christmas dinner, and then the camera pans around to his family and there's the face of...
He constantly says he wants to go home.
He does, right? Yeah, he does, right? And his dad's always on him for going after the easy money.
Right? Yeah. And he's like, see, I worked for this. And he's like, fine, you worked for this.
No, I like that. Actually, I do like that. Right? And I can still play into their whole the casino heist at the beginning of the movie where they were working one together. His dad was trying to teach him how to sort of do the big job.
Yeah.
Right. And then they pull off one at the end, and then there's the final twist.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we don't even have to have like the Atlantis City angle.
No, like I like the idea that it's like, because it is. I like the idea that kind of Jack survives as well because he's completely in on it. I kind of think he kind of has to save him at the end because Rudy's might be unarmed at the very end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Plus, he doesn't have to walk home at that point. It's just rude.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah, you can see that after everything's said and done. I mean, I see him taking Nick's car anyhow.
Yeah, no, I mean, he still has to leave the scene because cops are going to show up.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah, there's been explosions and shit, right? So they are going to show up and they're going to be looking for these.
Jack's got he still legitimately works there, but this was the plan all along, especially when Nick actually goes into jail.
Yeah, then you can still have that really nice Merry Christmas moment.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, you can. Yeah, I still think that the idea of them having planned original heist because we have to have a reason for Jack to be on the
for
run,
sure.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Oh
right? No, that's definitely in there. It just
Yeah. No, I like the idea of that actually.
Yeah, but there's that added bit at the end where it turns out that Jack actually.
And also,
dead.
It really works as well because, he's in prison. He's like, oh no, I just call him my dad.
Yeah.
Never mentions him by name. He's calling his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who would you call in prison? Your dad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Ashley says Gabriel's his brother. She's constantly doing that. Her name's not Ashley, it's Millie.
Yeah.
She's dating everybody.
No, she's just dating who the targets are.
Yeah.
She did say herself she never fucks the wrong guy.
She is the real bad guy in this movie.
Yes.
So.
Yes. which was I did like that aspect, is that she was the real bad guy in this iteration. In our iteration, she's not. They're all the bad guys, but she thinks she's the bad guy.
Yeah, like I still want her playing that. She's still playing Gabriel as well, but she's just having trouble with Rudy.
Yes, it is strange that this heist movie turned out to be more of a revenge movie.
Yeah, I didn't quite. Yeah, some of the stuff I didn't quite get. I was like, really?
How dare you hit on my truck stop girlfriend? What?
And the other thing about it too is I don't know when Rudy does mentions like, are you sure those are pictures of her? That wasn't my concern. I was saying they're like, what person starts a relationship with somebody in jail? Like,
yeah, but we hear about this stuff all the time.
We do, and that's the whole point. I'm like, there's women who are really in love with these serial killers, and I'm like, no, as your cellmate, you have to say there might be something mentally unbalanced about this woman.
Yes.
I fear for your safety.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, exactly. And but of course, that plays into how he figures out what's going on really in the game.
Well, he's got his head screwed on right, so you can see when he's being played. He's smarter than they are because they're not experienced in this.
No, and he's just let Nick know that he's a car thief. Didn't tell him what else he was up to.
No, because you never.
He's not only a car thief.
No, because you never admit to something to tell people what else you've done because they could be a jailhouse snitch, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
And and Rudy's a smart guy. He's not going to tell anybody anything else because you never know who's going to get back to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I like it.
He goes in with this persona. I'm a simple, goofy guy who just wants hot chocolate and pecan pie when I get out.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just a car thief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I like it.
I think we did pretty good with the Reindeer games.
Yeah.
Because, man, I was not looking forward to watching this another time. I'd seen it once before, and I'm like, oh, man, I don't want to do this. But, damn, if we didn't come up with something pretty cool.
And that's part of the fun of watching the movies that maybe we're not huge fans of, is, you know what? They're painful to get through, but the idea is to have the fun of figuring out what would have made them better.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's true. Like, I think at the very beginning we landed on the exact point where it was the nugget of something that they totally missed, which was it's funny and it should be funny.
Yes.
Yeah, and I don't know. They were just they wanted to try to do like the Christopher Nolan thing where there's a twist on a twist on a twist, right? And it didn't work in this particular iteration because it needed the humor in order to distract you from the fact that you know that there's a twist coming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right.
Oh God, they telegraph it so early.
So early. I'm just thinking of Christopher Nolan's like Christmas movie take. Like I just imagine Santa Begins, like just like the dark iteration of Santa.
Wrong.
He's like, I just want to give gifts, and then like it goes in trains somewhere in the North Pole,
lifting reindeer over his head.
Reindeer over his head. He's like, no, you must learn to. You aren't the one ruling the reindeer and you are one. Okay.
Oh man,
just some wise old elf.
This movie was so heavy-handed at times where I'm like, why didn't anybody punch him in the nose so he had a red nose?
Yeah,
exactly.
Rudolph should have been at a bloody nose.
He does at one point.
I guess he does. Yeah.
There's a scene in the diner where he wants his fucking hot chocolate.
And he got his bloody nose, so they did do it. There you go. Goddamn dumbass.
But I'm surprised they didn't at one point because it was so. They wanted to like wring the humor out of like just destroy the humor at every moment. One of the guys like, "Hey, Rudy," just to really make it not funny.
Yeah, exactly.
It was really ham-handed, and
I mean, kudos for taking what is a really silly script and trying to do something super serious with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know what they were thinking, but okay.
It's weird. Sometimes when they put stuff in a winter setting, people automatically think winter is a serious movie, and it doesn't have to be.
No, it doesn't have to be. I mean, we've seen in lots of great winter comedies that work very well. But I think the problem is simply Frankenheimer got the script and went, "Oh, I really like the concept," and clearly the man didn't have a sense of humor.
I don't know. Did he? Maybe it was just a contractual obligation with the studio.
That's the other thing too.
Yeah. I mean,
he was known for being brought in
with a cast like this. I mean, it attracted a bigger cast because he's John Frankenheimer. I mean, this cast was way better than this movie deserved.
Yeah. Maybe that was it. They're like, we've got John Frankenheimer. He's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
John Frankenheimer at that point, he's like, wait, I'm doing this?
Yeah.
And yeah, that it could very well be it. But I mean, I've heard that Frankenheimer was also very, very challenging to work with. As a director, you hear a lot of feedback. In that documentary we were talking about, a lot of the actors who worked on it,
that's true,
found him very, very difficult to work with.
Island of Lost Souls.
That's what it is.
That's it.
There you got it.
Took us an hour and a half, but we finally got to the name of that documentary. Now, if there's any other like later movies like Reindeer Games, this was from 2000, and this is certainly the latest movie we've ever remade for the show. But if there's any, I don't see us hitting anything after this point. But if there are movies that are kind of in this era that you'd like us to cover and maybe remake, let us know. You can do that on our social media, at Invasion Remake on Twitter, Invasion the Remake, of course, on Facebook. Please like our page, and you can follow all our goings-on over there. Or invasionoftheremake@gmail.com if you want to email us directly.
Yes. Tell us things.
Yes, and, be kind. Leave a review and a rating over on Apple Podcasts and iTunes. It helps other people get their
earballs
on the show. And you can tell people how to find the show. I mean, you already know how, but you can find us in a whole bunch of places, and even I don't know how many places we're actually in.
There's tons.
Tons, but of course I mentioned Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play Music, Blueberry, TuneIn Radio, Player FM, Spreaker, and frickin' YouTube. Yeah. Everybody's on board on frickin' YouTube. So we're at lots of places. You can listen to us all over the place. And if I didn't name your podcast player of choice, I'm sure if you did a search, we're probably there as well. And of course, you can check out our Libsyn page as well, Invasion of the Remake. It's libsyn.com/Invasion of the Remake. So.
Or just Google us. If you Google Invasion of the Remake, we're like the first page. The entire first page.
Exactly. So lots of ways to find us, and please tell all your friends how to find us and help the podcast grow into the invasion it is meant to be. And maybe we can put a stop to these really bad remakes. And if they're going to do it, let's make sure it's a movie we're going to enjoy.
You tell 5 Santas, and they'll tell 5 Santas, and they'll tell 5 Santas, and so on, and so on.
And every mall Santa will be listening to our podcast.
But they should not tell the children. This is very adult when we talk about stuff.
Yeah, well, we drop some language.
Yep.
Sometimes. Emphatically, actually.
Yeah. It's mostly me.
So next week we will be back with some holiday themed movie that has got a remake out there, and we're getting close to a break time. We'll have a little short special something for you, and we'll come back last week of December, maybe first week of January, and we will we'll keep rolling on, because God knows we haven't got a shortage of material here. So
hell no.
Yeah. keep us subscribed. Make sure you hit those subscribe buttons on whatever you're listening to us on. And we will see you next week on Invasion of the Remake. I've been Jason.
I am always Sam.
I continue to be Trish.
And we are out of here.
Read your letters, convict. Don't play no reindeer games with